That's a summer love. California dreaming. Summer love. That's a summer love.
I have thoughts too. Hi, my name's Danny. I'm currently working in the city for a consulting firm.
Hi, I'm Sheree, and I do whatever you need me to do because I'm a freelancer. But I love a focus on film and acting. That's my bread and butter for real.
I like it too. I do.
Yeah.
We used to work with each other. I met her in the kitchen, and it kind of just went from there, right?
I remember the first time that Danny made an impression on me because we were in a meeting. Danny started talking, and it was just, I didn't even remember what the conversation was about, but she said something that was so like left center, and I think everybody was kind of like, I don't know how to respond to that, and she was like, well, that's what it is. And I just knew that she was a cool chick because it was the most awkward moment, but it was quite funny, and I love awkward, funny people. Danny's more awkward than funny, but she's
But
like,
it works.
Gross.
It works for us. So, how Sheree and I became really close. Sheree laughed at all of my jokes. Even if they weren't funny. She was just like, Danny, go. Go, just be yourself. And be free and insult everybody in this office. Take a wild guess. Take a real wild guess who came up with it first.
Okay, so a quick backstory as to this chair. I decided to go homeless for a little bit just because I decided like that's something that I needed to do. And I got this chair because it was my temporary bed. And then I started thinking about like this idea, which I kind of had previous, about like using the things in your environment to like create art, to use it for creativity. And then I ran across Danny's Instagram, and she has a wonderful eye for photography. Like
I do. You should check me out.
All right, she's all right. She's okay. She's not. She's all right. So, but no, she's really talented. And so I had this idea of taking the chair and like doing a photography project where we would take this chair and put it in the most random places, and the through line for each picture would be the chair, and it would just kind of make its own life. And so I was like, Danny, do you want to do it with me? And like before I finished the sentence, she was like, yes. So literally the weekend of the week that I asked her, we took it out to Chelsea Market, and we just started taking pictures, and from there it kind of developed into what it is now, which is a bigger project than just photography. But that's, yeah. So the pop-up chair is this company that basically runs on this theory that you can use your environment as a regular way to invent things to stimulate creativity, and we do that by using the chair. So for the Failsafe Theater Festival, we've come up with a play that basically is us exploring that theory of creativity, but with an audience. So we have a show coming up. It's called Summa, which means three, and it's basically a play broken into three parts, and it just explores creativity and transformation of the environment.
For adding on to what Sheree said, it is called three. It is three different types of three different scripts that we each wrote. We wrote one each, and then we co-wrote one together. So it's called Summa. But adding on to what Sheree said about the pop-up chair and creativity, it goes on to we kind of explain a little bit more about the theory of Arthur Kessler, and that's the main reason why we created the pop-up chair. It's that theory that genius and creativity can be learned. It's something that's open to anybody and everybody if they are open-minded to the idea.
The most that I've enjoyed so far with this pop-up chair is seeing people's reaction to the chair and seeing the reaction of us engaging with the chair. I think you can never really know how people are going to respond to your ideas, to your projects, to the things that you're trying to do. And even in the early stages of doing the pop-up chair, the response to just going out and trying new things with this object was so extreme and so phenomenal. And I think the whole point of our project, obviously, is to instigate interaction and communication and creativity. So if we don't even have to do that much for people to come and ask questions and engage with us, then it really reaffirms this idea that people really want to learn and people really want to engage with others and they really want to stimulate creativity, and that's just a beautiful, inspiring thing to see in and of itself.
What's rewarding for me, I'll take it more on a personal level because I totally agree with everything that Cherie said. But I think for us personally, especially from the beginning up until now, for me, and I think for Cherie and I both, we felt like it got easier to speak to people. I think in the beginning, in the early stages, we were a little bit kind of like not sure how people are going to react to the chair, or if we were going to be able to get people to interact with the chair. But as time progressed, everything just got much easier because we were a little bit more confident in our ability to because we're both a little bit more introverted than we come off to be. And so I think in the beginning that kind of showed that we were a little bit introverted, but we were trying to get people to come up to us and to talk to us. But the more you do things and the more you practice, you get a little bit better and better at it. And then people kind of gravitate towards that type of energy. That energy like, hey, we're open-minded, we're free, please go ahead, come in and interact with us. And I think for in that standpoint, it has helped us grow as a company and as people individually. For me personally, I think it would have to be the fact that people think the chair, and especially tourists, they just want to sit on it, and they're just like, please take, like it's like a photo op. Well, please take a picture of me here and there and on the chair, and that's all they see it as. Like they haven't got the message of what it represents. And for me personally, I think that's the hardest part for us, was to kind of like getting people to understand what the pop-up chair stands for. And I had a much harder time than Cherie's had, I believe, because Cherie's really good at kind of like explaining the theory, the art of it all. But for me personally, I have a hard time kind of explaining what's on my mind. So that was a work in progress for me. And it has definitely gotten better. I've definitely gotten just to the chase of it, just being able to synthesize what the pop-up chair really stands for.
For me, the biggest challenge is really the entire project. This is really quite ambitious if you sit down and think about it, because we're talking about a theory that says, you can access genius, you can, be creative with whatever it is that you utilize in your environment. And so it's kind of like, if we're going to talk the talk, we have to walk the walk. So we're constantly having to reinvent this chair, which is challenging in and of itself. Any person knows when you're trying to find a solution to a problem, when you're trying to come up with new ideas, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it and it would be no big deal. So for us, I think the constant challenge is really living the truth of what we're saying and really looking at the chair and allowing it to inspire us. How many different ways can we see this one object and change it, and not only just change it, but really convey that to an audience? How do we consistently keep them on their toes? It's a true challenge, but it's fun in the process. And I think the kind of the rewarding thing from that is that we learn that failure is a part of that process. So now it's about like not being afraid to fail, of not being afraid to let the chair sometimes be what we want it to be, and then sometimes take us through a couple of trials and errors, and that's a part of creativity, I think. I just want it to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. I would really love to get to a place where people are taking our idea and personalizing it. So maybe we start off with a chair and people give us their interpretations of objects in their environment, maybe they're showing us how they reinvent a table specifically as it relates to this company and our idea. I want the chair to be a symbol of a safe space for people to change their way of thinking, and I want it to be very evident, and I want it to be very practical. I just really want it to be something that's at least cementing a foothold into the way people think.
Be the chair. I'm a little more ambitious. I'm gonna go for like the glory. I want the glory. I want this chair to represent more than the chair, obviously, like Cherie said. But I also maybe want to upgrade this chair. I love this chair, but you have to understand how we have to pack it and the things we do and how we carry it. I'm like, you know what? One day this chair is gonna like change into something a little bit more opulent, or something that that can, like, it's easier to be packed, or something like that. But ultimately, I want this company to be more than that. Maybe like a production company. Like, I want to lean more towards doing production, doing film. This might lead us into advertising. Like, I want people to look at our TPC production house and be like, hey, these girls, they lived it. They took this freaking chair everywhere around New York City and maybe the world, and they were able to transform this into something. They can take my product, whatever it may be, and they can do something with it. And that's what I want for us ultimately.
Because at the end of the day, it's really not about the chair. It's about people. So we do want to expand past this just one object. It's really just starting with this as a simple way to kind of get people on board.
And I feel like we're two different people. And our creativity is, you know, I'm very other pretty girl creative, and she's more of like avant-garde and abstract creative, and you know what? That can work together. You know, that can work together to bring a product to light, or to bring something to light, and whatever that may be. And I want for us to merge in that way and like just go up from here. I'll take this one. I would say definitely find something you're passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something and you find something that you really care about, it won't be about the money. It won't be about the fame. It will be, at the end of the day, about you and your principles and your morals, and something that you believe in. So that will give you the strength, regardless if you make money out of this or not, to kind of just forge on and keep going. Would also recommend being open-minded to different ideas, because Cherie and I'll say it again, we're very different people. But there are certain things that I just know I don't do well, and she's very good at it. But I'm okay with it, and I want input from her. Tell me, hey, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And I sit and I listen. And I listen, and I go home, and either obviously I do homework, I research, and either I agree with her or I don't. But the fact that I'm able to just, the wanting of her criticism is what helps me to kind of like, okay, hey, I think she's wrong, I'll tell her later. Or like, oh, she's right. And you know what, I'm going to do my research, I'm going to do my due diligence on whatever it may be.
For me, I'd say the number one thing is to go into anything you do with a wanting, a desire to learn. I think that helps kind of absorb everything Danny just said in terms of fear of failure and processing through everything. You have to go into it humbled, realizing that you don't know everything, and that when you are creating, this is an opportunity for you to learn something that you never knew. I wouldn't even go into it trying to prove anything, but treat everything like a science experiment. Figure out what it is that you don't know, and if the things that you think you know are as simple as you've always thought of them. Go into it really hoping to take something out and to give it back to others.
Oh, just to add on to that, just give yourself a chance to make mistakes, and don't be so hard on yourself. And remember that you don't know what you don't know. So you just need to learn and just say, hey, you don't know it, so why are you so hard on yourself? It's your first time.
Unless you're me, then you know everything.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, not sure either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I tried. Pop-Up Chair is putting up our play called Summa. It's with the Failsafe Theater Festival on August 17th, 18th, and 20th. Go to thepopupchair.com for more information. And please come prepared to engage and to be inspired and to learn and to contribute.
Yeah, have fun. I mean, just add on what Cherie said. Come, enjoy yourself. You're just gonna, it's freaking awesome. Just come, guys. Go check out our website. Or go to Failsafe, failsafe.com, I believe it is. Our information is also on there. And it's at the Producers Club. That's where it's at. So it's Thursday, Friday and Sunday. 17th